God, look at it. There's people watching us.
Oh, God. I'm Timmy.
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan.
And this is Three Old Tech Dudes.
Yeah.
I don't think I know either one of you.
What is this smorgasbord of gorgeous retro technology that you have before us, sir?
So these are, these are CBs.
Breaker 19!
As in the Citizens Band?
As in Citizens Band radio. Now,
So you can't yell at me for saying
you will,
that now.
if you know and watch TV, which you don't, but that's okay.
Yeah, you weirdo.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know about Smokey and the Bandit and the Dukes of Hazzard. They had
No.
CBs. They had Bo Peep and Lost Sheep and
I
all
love
them.
Smokey.
Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit is fun.
Yeah.
So, two of these are the exact model used on the TV show Stranger Things. That would be this one. This one. These are TRC-206s.
Well, first thing I'll know about that is they're probably
This is a code red! Repeat! Code red!
so they're probably
Sorry.
using them wrong.
Now, a couple of these are actually from the model I had. They're not the actual ones because those unfortunately got destroyed. But these, which you have one there, are a very, very simplified version of this. These are single channel 14 CB.
General Electric.
Yep. Little kids walkie-talkies. Now, I can tell you right offhand, because I know, because I had so much experience with these. These go, if you do a lot of fun modifications to adding like an antenna to these, I was able to get these to go nearly 400 or 500 yards.
The ones that don't have a squelch.
Yep, there's no squelch on these. So you open these up, it's like, okay, yeah. So the battery goes here.
That's what my walkie-talkies as a child had.
Yeah, and
I like the orange plastic slider when you hit the push to talk.
yeah,
That's
just
not a light. That's
it's
just.
not like just.
First
Oh, yeah.
I thought this is powered up, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not."
So the funny thing is, if you do that back here, which we need to probably show, if you do it back here because of the red and blue above us, these really glow good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Hard to see.
yeah, so those radios, these four, are actually mine, but these are the two I picked up because I wanted to test to see just because I kind of have an idea anyway, but really to prove the fact that some of the stuff on Stranger Things, technologically speaking, was correct, and some of it is no.
You
Say it ain't so.
You mean television is not real?
Hollywood lied to me?
So yeah,
It's an act.
so
So real.
and the fact they're actually, at least they did actually pick radios available in that time period. These were absolutely out at that time, and they were very popular. They really, really were. They always do it like this. They want to
So
pull the
what
antenna.
what are these fellers? It's a realistic, so Radio Shack.
These are a TRC-206.
Has a channel
and-
A, B, and C switch
Yep.
there.
They are crystal controlled. They come with channel 14. You can then add other channels to them.
Cool.
So, in this case, I only have channel 14 in them. These do have squelch. They also have external antenna and a charger for if you have rechargeable batteries in these, which they did have. So, these, especially back in the day, these would be really, really handy if you needed to do something locally to talk to two people at a slight distance. I mean,
With a very large radio.
yeah, and these do actually put out 3 watts. There's no power adjustment. They are literally all or nothing. But for 3 watts, and here's the thing. Here's one of the things that, like Stranger Things, they do, and I don't think anyone's bothered to tell the people doing this that that's not right. So
Oh, I'm sure somebody
this
has.
antenna is in 2 pieces. There's a top piece and bottom piece, and you have to have.
Are they only pulling the top piece out?
Yeah, and you have to have, and it is.
Yeah, but do you know how hard that would be to get in frame?
True, And I realize they're doing
hard
that
for us to get in a frame. You can about touch the camera over there.
Yeah, so, and I realize they're trying to keep it in
I legit bet that's why they don't, because you would have to zoom out so far.
But if you're wanting to use the actual radio, you're going to need, for 3 watts, you need to have the antenna completely out. Now, a lot of times I've seen them just do this. At one point I saw them actually, I think it was like this.
Okay.
And I'm like, no. But
I'm positive it's whatever fits in the frame.
probably is, yeah.
They may even adjust it, like come out and that needs to go down just a little bit. There you go.
Well, I've seen the outtakes. The outtakes, like the kid pulled it out one time and didn't pull it out all the way or something like that. But it's you can watch the outtakes, and they are funny. I will admit. So anyway, being a synth guy, I like Stranger Things because it's a very 80s analog synth sound, and it really does use actual analog synths when they're making the music. And I really love the fact that they did at least take the time to find the proper radios available at the time. There's another issue that they have too, that, for example, the radio that the character Dustin has, the headset is not on the same band as these. It won't work. But these themselves actually would give you reasonable range. So that's one thing we're going to try in a very short upcoming video. So we're going to take this one and this one. And we're also going to take a base station connected to this. And we're just going to see just how far you can actually go with these using the antenna the proper way. But the neat thing is, because these are on channel 14 and these are on channel 14, these can actually talk to each other. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, these are probably, I'm going to guess, these are probably somewhere in the like 5 or 6 milliwatt range output, which is nothing, but it runs on a 9-volt battery.
Sure. Or
these run on, like 8 AA batteries. It's ridiculous amount of batteries. And this puts out actual 3 watts. So this has some power to go distance. So these theoretically should be able to give you what in the the TV show appears to be about a mile-ish distance away between a couple of the characters. I think that would actually work. Mm-hmm. And that's to be determined. But that's kind of what the upcoming thought is. So I picked these up because they were fun. I actually picked these up because these are the exact ones that I had as a kid. Exact model. And I had these back. So, funny story with these. So I was into Blizzard of 78. This is pre-U existence.
We've heard tell.
So
we've watched news footage from.
We heard it existed once. Yeah.
Action.
So, indeed. Well, I was at my grandmother's house along with all the family during the Blizzard of 78, and much to the chagrin probably of all the adults, then I loved it. Not for any mean or bizarre reason. Honestly, all my family was there. Like, all of them were at my grandparents' house. So, that was great. Like, everyone was there. Grandma survived Grandma and Grandpa went through the Great Depression, so there was more food than you knew what to do with, because you never ran out of food. And my grandmother was an awesome cook. Really nice lady. My grandfather, real nice guy, didn't talk a whole lot, but that's, they're farmers. They're just, Tipton up in Tipton, Indiana. So, but I had taken these with me. And it was really neat because you could, pull the antenna out all the way and turn the thing on and listen to the truck drivers talking about what they were going through. And it was like, that's so cool. And you couldn't talk back to them because it just didn't have the power. But the receiver on these was pretty decent. It would actually make the disc, you could listen to it. Sure. So those are actually kind of fun. And I bought those particular ones because I just thought they'd be kind of neat to have again. Cause,
absolutely.
The last year, psychologically speaking, I think it was hard on everyone. Yeah, I definitely went back in the 80s. I don't know why, but I did. So, and I used these things up through the 80s with a friend of mine who lived about 400 some-ish yards away. And we were able to make these work that distance by literally attaching a wire going up into a tree so it went out the house a ways, and then on his side did the other thing. And we were able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really, really on the edge of talking. But it did actually work. So, yeah, a friend of mine, he's a little further away now. He's up in Indianapolis, but he drives train now.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Come on, Matt. Let me go on train with you. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty sweet. What else we got here? What's this thing?
Well, this is a Goodwill find, actually. I paid an entire $5 for this, and this is a little bit newer.
Check.
I'm gonna guess.
It sure does.
I'm gonna make an educated guess that this was probably a early to mid '90s radio. I'll look for sure later, and we'll put that down here somewhere.
Yep.
But this is a TRC-207.
207.
It's telling that the font is the same.
Because that's funny, because this is
Is that a
actually
206?
206.
Oh wow!
Well, in Radio Shack parlance, that usually means this one.
It might be
replaced
older.
that one.
Maybe it was a little bit older than I thought.
Yeah,
And this is a 40 channel though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you
like
got an up down button here. You can change your channels.
Yeah.
Up,
Yeah.
break 19.
Yeah.
I'm on 19, so I can do that.
That's right.
Yeah. So these are only on 14.
But then on 14, you can have a little combo station.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't turn it off.
There we go.
Audio.
Yeah.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check.
It might be actually down here.
Yeah.
2 2 2. 1 2 1 2 and 2.
Those appear to be the kind you would want to hold up to your head in some cases, like a phone.
Yeah,
By
so
their
you
design.
would actually, have
Yeah,
you
you
have a
would-
strap on the back of this thing,
Yeah.
which is adjustable, and you could,
Do like that, yeah.
So these had, all these had their use because back in the day,
Did you see the feature this one has, Nathan?
I did. It goes dark.
It goes dark when the squelch is closed. And then when you talk,
That's actually neat. It fades
Yeah.
out.
That and it's variable power. You have a
Yeah.
high-low selector
It
there.
does, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's on right now with the squelch. That's really neat.
Yeah. So those are definitely more advanced versions. We have to look, but if you go on RadioShackCatalogs.com, you can actually find both these.
Oh yeah, that's what I plan to do.
Yeah. So
This has nearly every feature those have. The only difference between 40 channel and phase lock loop. So
yeah, and these are crystal controlled, but
Yeah.
they may actually feel a little jumped out.
I bet they don't. Not with crystals.
Yeah, you wouldn't really need to.
But this also has the charger port on it. So if you had rechargeable batteries, and it'll accept power from, we're guessing, a cigarette lighter plug and
got an internal
external antenna. So
That
Yeah.
thing is beefier than some of the handheld 2-meter HTs of its era. Honestly, that's a nice feeling radio.
it's got powered by 10 AA batteries.
Maybe part of why.
Yeah, so like this is a 2-meter HT of roughly that same era,
Yeah.
and
It's thinner, I
Yeah.
think, is the thing. And it's in general smaller,
Yeah.
I guess.
but if you grab one of my that's a 2GAT, the Icon 2GAT, but I have a 2ATs over there, and they're about the same size as
they
that
are.
thing, and they're a lot more plasticky, bulky. And everything else.
Sure.
But the nice thing is, so if you didn't have the ability to get a ham radio license back in the day, back in the 80s, which I didn't, it was really like really me going to ITT in 90. It was even trying to find information on how to get a ham license. I really, in like 89, end of 89, beginning 90, I got in touch with Frank Anderson, and I don't remember his call. I'm sorry, he's passed away a few years ago now, but real nice guy. But he was the guy
Local ham here.
Yeah, local ham. First local ham that I actually ever knew, and that was a ham. It turns out there was a couple guys I knew that were hams. I just didn't know at the time, which is fine. But he got me in touch and talked about the Ham Fest and everything else, and that's the first time I'd ever seen any of this kind of stuff. But back in the day, like a friend of mine and I, we had CBs, and we put them in our cars. Well, I put in my van. He had a car. And we were able to talk with mobiles, 5-watt mobiles, unmodified. We never modified them. But we were able to talk, across town reasonably well. But
They're pretty solid up to about 3 miles. They start to drop off quick after that.
Yeah.
But for the mobile radios anyway. So.
yeah, and we were able to do reasonably decent. I had the dual antenna thing going, and which I don't think really helped.
I always
But
heard that actually makes it worse.
I think it made it
But
more
it looks
directional.
cool. So that may be.
I think it's what it actually, because like front and back, I was able to get really good.
Yeah.
So I just
That
learned
makes sense.
There are
aim
some
the
days
vehicle.
when we don't do too much better on 2 meters
Well.
with 65 watts.
That's true.
AM and FM are whole different critters in that situation.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Indeed.
Citizen band's AM.
yeah, it is
And
AM.
single sideband if you have
Yep.
enough expensive radio back in the day.
Yeah. But
Back to
CB
the 4G
is
12 watts on single sideband.
Yeah. CB is one of those things that, even though much like everything else, because of the cell phone, you know, the world of, it's like my iPhone, for example, that killed, I would say killed, but it hurt ham radio a lot.
I would
It
say
sure
it
did.
did.
And
I
it
would
hurt
say it
CB
did.
too.
I would say it killed CB.
Yeah. Because back in the day, if you turned on channel 19, it was always noisy.
Yeah.
And now, not
So
I've heard
so
locals
much.
on channel 25 around here.
There are some guys still talking around here
In fact, I kind of
locally.
want to tune to this, see if I can hear any of them now.
you're in a basement.
You'd be surprised.
So before we started the video, I was actually telling Tim, the one person that I knew in my life that had a CB radio pretty consistently in his vehicle was my uncle, and that was basically what he kept it for, was for emergencies.
Yeah.
But think about it. You're out there. You don't have cell phones because cell phones don't exist, or they existed, but they were not affordable by your average person. So this would be, you either walk to somebody's house and hope they'll let you use their phone, or you use something like this.
Yeah.
So if you go back into one of our previous videos, we actually had a CB radio that was set up just to keep in your car for emergencies. Like, it had its own little case and was completely self-contained, including the antenna.
Yep. And Radio Shack back in the day sold, well, several places did actually, but Radio Shack I know had one of the all-in-one kit thing.
Sure.
And we actually took one of those when I was a kid down to Florida. I don't know how I convinced my dad to let me do that. We did.
Nice.
And and it actually worked. It was really neat. So, I mean, back in the day, we're talking this would have been very late 70s, early 80s. Probably 82, 83, if I would guess. And we went down to Florida and we took one of those with us. And that was actually really neat.
Cool.
So,
As far as emergency use, before the cell phone and we had to walk to find a telephone, you at least had a chance of raising another human on these things. I'm sure it wasn't foolproof, but
I remember when I was I think in high school, there was a local club. I can't remember what they called themselves, but their entire organization was basically just to monitor Channel 9.
okay. React, maybe?
That
Was it a React club?
It may have been.
Yeah, that was, of course, amateur radio has several emergency clubs. Citizens Band actually has one that, it's usually called React in most areas. They had chapters and stuff. I think it was based around Citizens Band. Sometimes I think today they claim that's not their only focus, but they're what's left of it.
well,
I'll have to look into that. We may do a video on that in the future, just
Okay.
the history of it, because I was never a part of it, I'm going to be honest. But
So, also back in the day, back when I was in college at ITT, I was going to go buy some electronic stuff from a guy he was at Hamfest a lot, and I just didn't have a chance to get with him then. He'd run out of, I was buying a laser, but that's before you just buy them, but, literally in a game
everybody
place.
just got to buy
I was just buying a laser.
just
What's
like-
the big deal?
It was a helium neon laser, so anyway.
burn some buildings down.
Well, no, it's a whole 2 milliwatt laser. You burn your eyes.
Focus that enough.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. But anyway, I'd come into the town that he lived in because I was just going to meet him at his house and buy the thing. I had cash with me and all that kind of stuff. It was just, he usually sold them at Hamfest. He literally just ran out. He's like, well, you're close to me. Just come out and get one. It's fine. So, but on the way into town, I noticed it said, welcome to, I want to say maybe it was Rushville or something like that, and it said local police monitoring Channel 9
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
on the sign going into town. I'm like, that's actually kind of neat.
You weren't supposed to just use Channel 9, and you really technically still shouldn't. It's reserved for emergency use. But
Yeah, was it like 9 and what was the other one?
9's the only one I knew.
I
of.
didn't know there was
I was
another
thinking
one
there was
either.
2. There was like two
I
emergency.
mean, 19 was kind of the default, supposedly,
Channel
for
9's the one
tractor,
that
for
the emergency
semis.
buttons on all the later Radio Shack CBs go straight to. So
Yeah.
my base even locks you to it if you have that button pushed. It won't let you change channel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just turns
yeah.
on an LED and says Channel 9.
I want to say, because my mobile CB that I had was Radio Shack.
Sure.
So back in the day, I mean, honestly, kind of talk about Radio Shack a lot, but back in the day, Radio Shack around here was just about the only place to actually get this stuff. I mean, it was Kmart and stuff like that, but I mean, Radio Shack outsold them probably by 10 to 1 on that kind of stuff, honestly.
This was good quality stuff they made. We bring that up, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, this
you've seen plenty of Radio Shack and Realistic and their various previous store brands, like Archer, and there's a couple
Optimus
others.
and things like that.
Optimus on the channel, and you'll see them again.
So, I mean, if you think about it, this thing's from like 1984, I think is when this thing showed up in the catalog. So, however many years that is,
35-ish.
35 almost is probably
Surely
close. Because these are edging on 40-year-old radios that still work.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with this. I
Is he
mean,
there?
So, and these are definitely that. And they still work too.
So,
What you got there?
What is that?
I brought this on the channel. A longtime fan of Three Old Tech Dudes. That would be
Norm.
Yeah.
of Shacking Off. It's a channel you gotta go check out. It's a lot of. There's some good ham radio content and some good ham radio comedy there. That's kind of their thing.
So we have to
ham
get
radio
you guys
comedy.
back.
Is that a thing? It sure is. So he
Ben
sent this in the mail.
Converter.
He found this.
Do you find that at a...
He found it at a ham fest.
What are we converting it to?
In Houston. So what this says, I've never opened the box yet. Norm sent his QSL card too. It's at the house. I'll put it in the video right here. Look at that. That's Norm. That's Norm for you.
Yeah.
KC9 CSC. He's originally from Indiana. Now he's down in the great state of Texas. And he found this, I think, in Houston somewhere. Hamfest, flea market out off. I think it's a Hamfest. I thought, what is this thing? You can see it has a plug for like a car stereo, antenna. It says Citizens Band Converter Model CB-10 from Sparkomatic. It's for 23 or 40 channels.
I used to have a Sparkomatic radio.
So let's
What's this thing
let's
do?
just see what we got in here. We're still in the foam. Look at that.
It's still in the phone, too.
Retain this section. Well,
Has this ever been opened before?
how about them taters? If it has, it's awfully clean. Wow.
I feel like maybe we shouldn't have opened it now.
Yeah. It's been open. Somebody's black taped on it.
Oh.
Is it transrocker? Oh, it is.
It's literally just it says CB converter on the front. It's got a tuning knob that's not got the tins. It's just like a open air capacitor and a power button. And then this black wire goes to the AM radio of your car. And then it has an antenna jack where you plug your car's built-in, like from the factory antenna in.
So it turns a guy's Waylon Jennings machine into a Citizens Band radio.
receiving machine. You can't talk on it. You can just hear.
I see.
So let's
So you can hear Waylon Jennings and Smokey.
Let's see if we got a book in here. We do.
Do you really listen to Waylon Jennings that much?
Oh, he totally stole that from Derek.
Oh yeah, that. If you haven't watched Vice Grip Garage,
You need
do
to go watch
yourself a
Vice Grip
favor.
Garage. The guy is good. I don't even like working on cars, and I watch him. So, oh my goodness, it's like a transverter. So CB channel 1's around a frequency of 1 megahertz. Channel 2's at 1010. Channel 3's at 1020 AM.
Oh wow!
Broadcast.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
So it's actually like a transverter of sorts.
Wow,
So this is... So actually what this is...
that's pretty innovative.
You're basically using your AM radio output, or radio
Input.
AM radio input, rather, as an IF.
Yeah. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow. That's... So this is really just an oscillator and a mixer. It's what it is.
A small tape can be affixed to the AM dial scale to mark off the various channels.
Ooh.
Yeah, here's the duct tape for you.
Or you could use them chunk buttons.
You could.
I kind of want to try this. And see if
I
it
do
works.
too. I freaked out. I bet it does. Look how clean it is. It's been installed before, but it's not been in there
Well,
long.
if we're gonna
doesn't
do
look
it, we're gonna have to go on eBay and find a vintage AM.
Yeah,
radio.
this-
like
this-
an AM dash radio.
This is one for the future here, like so many things we claim we're going to do.
I'm doing that. I'm go.
I probably have one at the house
I'm
somewhere.
gonna go find a Buick radio or something.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? That's one of their old advertising lines.
You know, I don't know if that's a good
Would
slogan.
you like to be a pepper too?
It's not dissimilar to that.
Yeah.
In addition, turn the sensitivity control fully counterclockwise. I think that's what this is. Okay, so I thought it was a tuner, but it's sensitivity. Okay, for fully
says-
counterclockwise. So that's
sensitivity
this
right
way.
on it.
Yeah, it says right there on it. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Pretty bold letters.
Murder bad. Come on.
Got lots of things to beat people with.
Beat me with my own radio.
Oh, but can I?
Okay, so here we got Sparkomatic cassette tape radio.
Cassette tape radio.
But we got to use the Sparkomatic because that is Sparkomatic.
That's
so,
right.
I mean,
So if
turn on.
if you hook this up,
Well, so
then
I was trying to get there. I think it says turn on the AM radio and turn to 1220 kilocycles. That would be 1220
Does this-
kilohertz.
Oh, okay.
To receive channel 19 or select a channel that you know has high signal activity. Also turn the volume full up. Ouch. A slight hissing should be heard. When a CB call is heard, breaker 19, this be the tall man. It may be necessary to fine tune the car radio slightly to get the clearest reception.
seems
that's
like
shocking.
That's a weird device right there. I like that.
so. If you
Thanks, Norm. What a weird toy.
if you have to wire
Yeah.
this,
Thanks, Norm. Now you're going to make us
Oh.
buy a Sparkomatic car radio.
So-
It's like-
What's that?
I mean,
There's-
it's
there's power but no ground.
I think it grounds
It
right
grounds
to the
through the
chassis.
chassis.
Actually, it may
Oh.
even ground through this.
it can't.
Actually, I bet it does.
Well, that's going to be a problem for rigging it up.
Oh,
No, it won't.
still work.
Okay,
It's how auto-magical electricity, electro-digital
We're gonna-
electricity.
we're going to have to
Holy freaking...
easy
holy
there.
So, look,
Calm down.
look at that thing.
That thing ain't even any good.
Wow.
It's $200 freaking dollars.
Nope, not.
Good God.
Nope, I'm not.
That's why it's the evil bay.
Nope, not doing it. Nope, it'll be fine.
We just
Nope.
need to go to a junkyard and find an old S10 because
I'll tell you, I probably got a radio. I don't know if it's Sparkomatic, but
I mean, I have radios, but we've got to have a knob and analog
slider.
controls.
I
And,
want a stereo light if it's AM.
Yeah, and the 6 presets.
The ones you pull out the
The,
set,
so-
that's right.
You're not
Tim?
supposed to tell people how to do that. That's a secret.
Tim, go grab the boom box.
What?
Go grab my
This
boom
is the
box.
Citizens man.
Cut.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I think I know.
No, I wonder if it's actually got that connector on there.
That would surprise me. Why would it?
Have you
Because it
driven
has
a
a lot of things
Ford lately? That's
You
gonna
should look
be.
up the 84
stuck in my
Ford
head.
Tempo commercial. That is the strangest thing you'll ever see in your life.
I didn't know they made tempos in '84.
That was the first year.
Was it?
Does that have it on it?
No.
I'll
It's
be
got
It's
like a,
auxiliary in and out.
yeah. I use that all the time.
Yeah.
Ah, bummer. I was hoping
I've
that
never seen
would.
that on a home system.
I have, but it's not been
Blake's
common.
called a Motorola jack, I think.
Yeah, it's a Motorola RF jack.
Cars used them in the U.S. for gazillions of years. Most of them still
Well,
do.
and some shortwave radios had them too.
Yeah.
Is that the one where if you buy one of them, they're foreign cars, you got to get the converter?
they usually have a different plug on them.
Yep, that's annoying. That screwed me on more than one stereo
Quit
installation
buying
when I
those
was a teenager.
Subarus.
Well, when I was a teenager, it was a Suzuki,
Oh, yes.
and
Here it's got a
my
little
friend had a nice
little
one.
sticker. Of course, we'll get bigger pictures of these going here that has the channel reference on it for this device. So
Way.
never been used.
But this is a corrector's item.
Yeah.
You know, if you gotta go to, I mean, you gotta unplug your radio.
It's got a vintage Ace Hardware plastic baggie from long ago with the mounting screws in it. Somebody's left in it.
You gotta unplug your radio, and wouldn't it just been easier to
Well, keep in mind
put a
this.
CB in your
Now,
car?
there's a copyright in this from 1975.
Yes. They made
Keep in
CB
mind, though,
radios.
how the design of car equipment, if you just wanted to listen, I don't know why you don't want to listen. I don't have any reason to use this myself.
But wouldn't it have still been easier just to
Yes.
install a CB?
I bet this was considerably less expensive if you just wanted to listen. But,
Okay.
like for road conditions, when big old boy driving his Mack truck, and sees the
We got a Smoky on the
Smoky.
side.
Oh, that's right. A big old bear,
Here's one.
like in Convoy.
I don't know why it says China, but it.
China.
I thought I was-
Sparkomatic. Well, it's because they're from China.
Have you ever
probably.
watched that movie? I thought I was
What,
the only
Convoy?
person. Yeah.
I know the song.
Oh. I have the movie on DVD.
Oh, goodness.
If you'd care to borrow it sometime.
All right.
Oh,
Says it's made in Korea. Anyway.
Korea?
Keep looking.
Well, thanks, Norm.
Yeah, thanks, Norm. That's fun.
Yeah.
What a strange piece of equipment.
We need to hook this bad boy up later, though.
Yeah, so there'll be follow-ups. We always run out of ideas. No, we don't. I gotta cut that out now.
Every time we try and run out of ideas,
we
more
come up
things
with
happen.
new ones.
Dealing all sorts of Derek's
That's
material.
right.
Buy Script Garage.
Go check him out. He's cool. He doesn't need more subs, but you know.
No, he doesn't.
If one of the 15 of you who are subscribed to us would like to go see him, y'all check him out. So.
Yeah. So that's actually neat. So this is like the line of CB stuff variation.
Yeah. This is portable gear and weird
Come
gear.
up with. Yeah. Weird stuff. Hey, weird stuff. We like weird. Weird technology is
That's right.
just something like you just never see that stuff.
I wonder how many people have accidentally left this on because the display's off because, you know, the squelch
chew up
thing.
battery. Yeah. That would be easy to do.
Very.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll look at some the classic stylings of old Citizens Band handheld gear and whatever this guy here is, Mr. Transverter Receiver. I'm calling it a transverter. They call it a converter.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, it's not really. It doesn't transfer, so it doesn't go the other direction.
That's true. That's where the trans is at.
Yeah.
I'm a really poor ham operator for an extra. Anyway.
Fancy.
Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Till next time, I'm Timmy.
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan.
And this is 3 Old Tech Dudes.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on 3 Old Tech Dudes. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more tech old and new, tinkering at the workbench, repairs, ham radio, electronics, computers, and more. Please like this video and share 3OTD with your friends to help us grow the channel. We tweet at 3 Old Tech Dudes 1 on Twitter, and you can keep up with us on Facebook. Just search for 3OTD and look for our logo. Thanks so much for watching.